between the transducer and the, and the eye. So because any extra layer will affect
Sure.
the picture.
Yeah,
quality.
I'd rather stay away from the clear skin covers if we can do it without, and we can learn it without. Just
course you
because
can.
they're
It's very easy.
crazy amounts of expensive.
They are very pricey, yes. Dr. Prager charges a very significant amount for them, and it's probably not the best solution because they single use. All right, so you know how to switch cables, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Set this one aside. If you don't mind to see, because I don't want to cover the view. So you go from this side. I'll let you stand up here or sit down, maybe even better. You'll be more comfortable with that, I guess. Let me just bring all the chairs for now. Just have a seat. It will be easier, more relaxing. I want you to see
No, you're
this
good.
screen.
Just trying to
because
figure
I
out
know
where
how
to
it looks
set up.
like.
Is this part
And
needs
we
to
will go over. Right, so you're familiar how to start the unit, right? You can skip that point.
Well,
So-
no, I didn't really see that part. 'Cause it was
I can
already-
show you that
Okay.
All right, well, easy part is like this blue
Just
button,
use
right?
the button.
You,
Okay,
you,
I can
press,
do that.
you press this button, you'll get to the screen with the software.
Okay.
So basically, what do you see here on the main database screen, right? You see the patient highlighted in blue, means right now you can review your patient's data by patient. You can choose any patient on a list. On the right side of the screen, you will see type of exams which was performed. And again, it depends on B or UBM, you will see a list of them. So if patient comes back again, you just find through a main search this patient, and all you need to do, just click on new, and unit will create new exam. Like I'll show you an example, right? New exam, and you choose BUBM goes as a default, right, left eye, or both eyes, so it doesn't matter. If you'd like to review patient scan, let's say same patient, here is the exam, you just click on view, and it will bring you to the viewing screen where you can do additional studies, right? So you can play those videos, which are on top of the screen, right eye, left eye. You can always play. You can control gain, brightness, right? We have a baseline logarithmic gain, exponential gain, and time variance gain. So it's all very simple. Doctors are aware of all those features when they perform their specific tests. Also, with the B scan, you have a different tools, scanning tools, where you can choose basically a different view. So it will be the retina view, orbit view, vitreous view, or like a general scan view. So it's also available from the screen. We'll go over in details later on. So I will close this exam. So it's one type of the examination which you can look for, right? So find the patient and review the exams. If, for example, doctor says, listen, I would like to see all my UBMs, right? It doesn't matter which patient it is, I just want to see the UBM list. You go by exams. So now all patient data brought up by the exam. And if you click on exam type right here, you can always highlight them. So it will be either by UBMs or by B scans. And with the scroll down, you see all the B scans, then all the UBMs. So easy search, and then you can go and click on any test you'd like to. Right? So that's just a quick overview of what you can do. To start a new patient, you click New Patient button right here. We'll fill out the patient's ID, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say. Last name. First name. The rest of the fields is up to you if you'd like to fill out or not, but these first three are most recommended ones. And you click enter.
Is there any value in putting the K values in for UBMs?
No, not at all. K values are applicable only for the A scan,
Okay.
for the biometry, right? So after that you are pretty much set. So you click apply, the new patient will be created on the list, and you see there is no exams. So you click on new exam, you can choose attending physician or referring physician, let's say, if you need to add this information, and click OK. you will be in the viewing screen by now, right? So here you can do your scans with the UBM. Depends on the scan type. You can choose different setting here in yellow, right? So it's a preset. Sulcus to sulcus, unit will basically readjust the viewing screen for you in magnification of the screen, so you will see everything on it for entire anterior segment. Angle detail, again, magnification will apply to the angle. Of course, you need to point the probe in the proper direction. Patient has to look left, right, up, down. So, but image will be slightly changed, of course, and the size will be easier for you to review it. So, high resolution, same thing. So, it's totally up to you to choose. I see some people doing just high resolution on all, and they fine with it. The more the more you perform tests, you may find other features probably more appropriate for you, or if it helps you to see better picture, use them. So high resolution is fine, sulcus to sulcus. Like let's do that because we're gonna do the sulcus to sulcus measurement. So once you choose sulcus to sulcus, you can go into the tools right here, and you see this little eye tracking software, like the button. You can click on that too. So once it's highlighted in blue, the additional tool will apply once you will start to do the test. And basically what that will do, it will provide you multiple dimensions on the screen while you perform test, because you need to be properly aligned to like kind of visual axis. You need to be right in the center of the cornea and go straight through the the pupil and the lens itself. So unit will provide you the corneal thickness, the ACD, also the lens thickness parameter, not thickness, I'm sorry, the lens width, and the sulcus to sulcus measurement. Most of these numbers are kind of guesstimated numbers by the software, and once you post the image, you always can readjust the lines if you feel like the adjustment is needed. So because it's a little bit hard to find like perfect sulcus to sulcus. It's always recommended to review to have like this multiple loops, just circling through and look at the criteria, because you could be just slightly off center, and it's just hard for you to catch, right? To see, am I exactly on the axis or not? Right. So, and of course you always take for consideration the pupil size. Like larger pupil area means you are on diameter of the pupil, right? You need to look for the bright areas such as cornea, front of the lens, back of the lens. If you don't see, let's say, back of the lens on the screen, that's when you're slightly angled and you're not really getting the picture. So I wouldn't take for account this image for the sulcus to sulcus measurement. Right, so we can actually begin. We need just one patient.
Okay.
And we'll start the scan.
Do you guys mind volunteering?
I can.
Oh, volunteering, okay.
I prefer 20 or 22 millimeter cups.
Right.
Depends on the eyeball size. 20 is just fine. There's a soft shell cup. I personally prefer not to use it because, like, if you accidentally squeeze it or patient has strong leads, they will push it out.
Yeah, that one wasn't.
Yeah.
We trialed that, Colin.
Yeah,
and I did. It did not go
no,
well.
it does work on the older population, like
Okay.
the leads are lousy, and you can do that, or on the kids sometimes.
Okay.
But yeah, so you have to be very careful by squeezing it, because like the more you squeeze, you're changing the shape and the water will leak out. So 20, 22. We're gonna probably do 20. So let's just clean the shells with alcohol. And the same way you can do like your Quantel unit, right, which you used to clean the probe. Soak probably in alcohol the transducer. Is that what you've done in the past, or?
Yeah.
So same way. There's like no changes. The only suggestion would be never like kind of wipe off the transducer, because it's a golden plated,
Sure.
and it may actually if you put any scratches, that will interfere with the image in the future. So we would like to avoid that.
So how long would you recommend soaking it?
Just like a few seconds.
Okay.
I mean, Generally like 5-7 minutes soak in alcohol, that's what's recommended.
Sure.
But most of the time everybody will just wipe off with the alcohol pad and that's it.
But you said not to wipe it.
Not to wipe it, well that's why it's better just
Yeah,
to soak it and
yeah.
then soak it in water and then
Sure.
you're done.
Okay.
So when you do test with the shells, it's better to use just like regular water, distilled water. Any balanced salt solution will build up over time, like that salty layer,
Okay.
right? If you don't like clean it properly, I mean, you will see
Right.
like some whitish
Sure.
coming up, and that will affect your image quality.
We have some distilled water in the room. It's in that kind of squeezable bottle,
Mhm.
in the where the base scan was. Would you grab it?
Sure.
Thank you.
It just will be easier.
Okay.
So, Prepare Tetracaine.
Yeah,
Put
prepare.
that now already.
All right. You want to lay down?
So we have to go all the way back when we do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just don't fall asleep.
Okay, I'll try. Good, I'm telling you.
Thank you so much. So, we're gonna do just right eye. Let's put a few drops in there. I'll have tissue box here. Oh, okay,
Thank you.
so we may need more tissues,
Yeah, we have a lot.
as always.
Yeah, we have lots.
So, do like, you do usually like top bottom drops or just one time?
I just did 3 drops.
3 drops is fine, yeah. Just, you know, if we're gonna play more with this side for better comfort, we can put an extra drop. So I would bring her down a little bit more,
Okay.
actually. So we need to make sure that the face is parallel to the floor. You don't really need any targets for this case, because you know, we're gonna guide the patient where to look for, you know, sulcus to sulcus measurement. Patient is gonna look straight up, both eyes open, so you can see the gaze and, you know, everything. With the angle measurements, I would recommend to point with the finger, just go here or there, because sometimes we tell them look left, look right, they go far left, far right, it goes beyond the shell and kind of rubbing against the cornea, so
Gotcha.
you want to avoid that.
Right.
Just
Okay.
like, just in case, it wouldn't scratch the cornea, but
Sure.
there- you know, you don't want to take chances.
Of course.
So when you hold the probe itself, right? The crystal is open. Yeah, there is a, you know, always a fear to touch the
Right.
cornea with it. I usually hold it as close as possible with my fingers, like this,
Okay.
up to this line. So when I rest the probe on the shell, like my finger is rested, and I have a full control. I will never go too deep.
Okay.
Right, so I'm like pretty much right there, and I can control the, you know, how deeply I need to go. Depends on the scan. Remember, if you scan in the angles, you need to be further away from the eye. Right, when you do sulcus to sulcus, you need to be a little bit closer.
Okay.
Unit also will send you like a sound if you're too close to the
I've heard
cornea.
that,
You're
yeah.
like beep 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 beep.
Okay.
And of course,
If you're not.
the
in
higher the
solution.
image, the closer you are to the
Right.
eye.
Okay.
Right, so let me just clean this one as well. I will just probably soft touch it. If you have a little like a bath for future, you fill up with alcohol.
Okay.
Just do that, probably will be better.
Yeah, the beeping scares me at first.
We
When I
can-
first heard it,
we
it
can
scared
turn
me.
it. We can turn it off if
No,
needed,
no.
but it's really
No,
good
no.
guide. Yes.
It just the first time it beeped at me, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, what's going on? Exactly. So okay. When you pour water, I'm gonna do 20 millimeter shell.
Okay.
When you pour water in the shell, use the side, the walls of it,
Right.
right? Don't go
That's what I
directly,
did. Yeah.
and don't do too fast,
Okay.
because you may create those air bubbles
Sure.
inside of the water, like make a sparkling water, and then it will affect your image as well.
You want tiny bubbles?
Carbonated
It
water.
happens. It happens. So the chin slightly down. Okay. I usually hold tissues and probe. Too many things together. So
See, I didn't put the probe around my neck. That's
There
why
you
I was
go.
like, I
Easier.
need more
This
hands.
way, yes.
There you go, yeah.
I mean, once
learn
you'll figure out the
something.
location, I see some doctors like to use like an arm and just have the entire cable like this. And then they just grab it and they have like a little bit of motion to go down,
Right.
not too
Okay.
far. But the best way is to go around the neck.
See, that's why I felt like I
Yes.
didn't have enough hands.
Yes.
Especially if your unit was right there and you need to
Yeah.
reach it and come back, and
Yeah.
it's just a nightmare. So let me just test it that it's working right now. It does. So I usually put tissues like this, so if any leakage, I will catch the water. Open eyelids wide. So around the cornea, just look straight right here. Like, okay, perfect, like this. Both eyes are open. And the water is coming. So it doesn't hurt at all. It's a little kind of.
Put quite a bit in there.
Uh, the more you have, the better.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yeah. Because water may leak, and then you would need to kind of come back to the bottle and refill it.
Mhm.
This little metal port is your,
Nasal.
well, at this point, nasal is your marker, right?
Okay.
So we kind of immerse the shell, the probe in the shell. So again, if I take it as close, you see I rest my fingers on it, right?
Mhm.
So now look at the image.
Oh,
So
wow.
I know I need to go a little deeper.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
Right, so, and you see all the parameters are building up automatically. So we'll do the scan first, and then I need to bring the back of the lens. Okay, straight towards my finger. Thank you. Just trying to get around the. Alright, so I'll do one more. Again, looking straight. See, I'm looking for cornea, front of the lens, and back of the lens, which is very important. Then unit starts building up all those lines for me. And I need to make sure that they are like as straight as possible. Right, and remember, it's recording the videos, so we can always play back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we need to scan angles, look at my finger. All right, and just stare there. Marker is nasal at this point, and I'm scanning an angle. We don't need eye tracking software at this point. I mean, it's still there, but we can see the perfect image of an angle itself. All right, so same we can do to the right.
Okay.
If we do up and down, marker is vertical, right? And if we do any transverse scans, like look to your left again. So, and I do marker up, and I see all the zones. Slightly more to the left. Okay, here we go. Alright, then we will remove the cap. Usually pull one of the leads and let water go.
Ugh.
Yeah, a lot of water. Sorry.
That's alright. Kind of feels good. My eyes are so
Being
dry.
washed, right?
It's like, can you do the other one?
Okay, so once we've done all the
Set you up, okay.
scans, yeah, we can set you up so we can see what we've done. Again, yes, eye tracking software is good only when you do sulcus to sulcus. The rest of the images is just gonna kind of, be here. You can always take it off. Like you can shut it down even after you've done the scan and just review those videos. So we're gonna start with this first one. We're gonna start. I'm sorry. Please. We're gonna play. And you saw those lines are appearing. So our goal is to have those blue lines as perpendicular like as possible.
Okay.
So we can stop and we can go frame by frame. So this one is a little better, right? So it provides us the corneal thickness, the ACT, lens thickness, lens width, and the the sulcus to sulcus measurement as well. So
That's awesome.
for sulcus to sulcus measurement, yeah, you definitely need to identify the sulcus, and you can grab each of those cross marks and bring them to the right area. Let's just go down here. So this blue line right here, right? And based on that, again, doctors need to identify that. It's really hard. I mean, I'm not the specialist of how to locate that, but the idea is, right, to find all those points, to readjust to the sulcus area, this line, and that's the measurement 1007 will be your sulcus to sulcus. So it's recommended to do multiple times, not the scan itself, but those measurements. So we did it, well, let's say we save the frame right here, save frame. Then we can go another frame, see maybe we'll have a better image somewhere. Let's say this one, right? Again, I will move this line. This one will go here. This one will go over here. 10, 11. So very similar, right? So I saved the frame as well.
Nice.
I didn't know about the tracking software.
Yeah, so it's helpful. Honestly, like the more you do it, the less you will need that eye tracking
Yeah.
software. It does help because it provides you instantly so much
Yeah.
data and the numbers.
Absolutely.
All the vertical numbers are, I would say, much more exact. With those, yes, you probably want to readjust the, the points. So, and once you're done, that's your results, right? So you can look at this image, 1007, 1011. So pick up the highest number, and that's it. So we also have the nomograms here.
Okay.
These two nomograms. So you click on it, click agree, and depends on the size, right? So we like 10.1. 10.2 is the lowest one, right? We pick on that, and it kind of tells us the
Wow.
dimensions. And Kajima the same way. So we put sulcus to sulcus manually here. ACD is recommended to put on, and then unit will provide you the size of the lens
Okay.
when needed. So you kind of manually fill out those fields here. So those two nomograms are available. Doctors can use it straight from here, or if they'd like to do any other nomograms, they can go online and just pick it up. So, but your sulcus to sulcus measurement will be here. So always watch for cornea, front and back of the lens. All three of them have to be on the screen. Then you are looking at the largest area of the pupil. That's the diameter of the pupil, so that means you are in the center. So, and that's it. So let's look at this image. We're going to click play. So we did it the second time, right? So again, we go frame by frame. And we'll get to the points here. And again, we run 10-11. So it's very accurate. Once you are on that visual axis.
Okay.
With angles, so let's just close this software. With angles, whenever you do angle, again, your job is to find this perfect angle and making sure that you can see pupil as well. See the pupil right there coming up? If it's not coming up, we're kind of slightly slicing away from the center. And of course, we don't want to consider that angle measurement because it will be,
Right.
much more narrow.
Mhm.
So we stop, we go frame by frame again. Once we'll find that pupil, here we go, right? The pupil, the lens coming up. We can apply our angle analysis software. So we grab the angle. We need to identify the scleral spur. And it's usually a junction right here. But you kind of draw the line, invisible line, and that's the mid-up point. So we take the blue cross, and we come to our scleral spur. And unit will provide you angle details with the nomogram. So you can see the angle opening distance, the trabecular iris angle, right? The angle recess area, and the trabecular iris space area for any distance, 250, 500, 715,000 microns. So all is here. So, and that also can go into your report, straight to your report, which is nice. I don't know if in Quantel you had this algorithm.
No.
You probably would have to just manually do the angle, right?
Yeah.
So you would probably take this regular angle and go
Yep.
kinda, right, and wander around with it, which still okay, it still provides you like, you know, the information, but I think that professional tool is much more valuable and gives you more data. All you need to do is just identify the spur and unit will do the rest for you. So as long as the picture is fine. So who'd like to try?
I'll be the patient if you want to try.
Okay.
Sure, try. Yes.
Excellent. So we're gonna finish the exam, right? So again, if you need to, do you usually print images or
We will be, yes.
you will be printing
Mhm.
images, right? Not the reports, or you
Well,
like to
the
do both?
reports.
The reports.
Is what I've been doing.
Let me just complete
Sure.
that step then. So we did numerous images here, right? So we did save frame, all frames are saved. Then we go to report. Yes, you want to save changes. Just make sure you always save the changes. So the report coming up, the patient ID, name, date. Then you simply choose images. You can use the control button. I'm sorry, the control, the add series. And you just edit those into report. So you can do up to like 6 per page images, 4 per page, 2 per page. The problem is like whenever you have this angle analysis software opened, then it's gonna take the entire page. You can scroll through your pages and see like all information, the angle, the diagram, all the information for doctor will be presented here on the screen. And then you can simply send it to printer. You don't really have to have a printer with the unit. You can use any network printer here, preset it, and unit will print it for you without any issues. Or you can send it to the EMR immediately. So your IT person can set it up, the location, and it will go directly, very easily. Right, so, and once you're done with the report, you can save, print, or close report. So we'll just click on save right now. All that data will be here. Right, you can always remove anything you don't like or don't want to have in the report. And that's all. So we click close. We go back to our exam screen. So it's our test patient. We're going to start new exam again. Right, and we're going to click on UBM. And here we are with the fresh style. Okay. All right.
You doing it?
All right.
So let's just clean everything
All
one more
right.
time. And again, of course, it's always the best to see unit in front of you, not on the side. It's perfect setup. So just make sure once you set up the room, you want to make sure that you can see screen like in front of you.
Okay.
So you would need to refigure out the space and the position. The best way to do test is sitting straight behind the patient, so you can do both eyes equally. But you can also do it from the side. But when you do it from the side, let's say patient laying down like this, right? Your screen should be here. You should be able to reach your gain if you need to. And again, you can do both eyes from the top of the head, so you're not really interfering with the facial part.